Hey girls, so I had my ultrasound this morning, so this is just a quick update of what happened today. So first of all, I was on Baby Center. They have birth boards, I don't know what you call them, for the month that you're due, so you can talk to a lot of other women in the same stage of pregnancy as you. I was on there, and I just wanted to see who had had ultrasounds this early and what they saw and things like that, so that I would be more prepared for whatever I saw, because I know this early. My ultrasound with my son was like around 7 weeks, like 6 weeks in some days or 7 weeks in a couple days, I don't know, but right around there. And we saw, a baby. But I know this early that we probably wouldn't see a baby. I don't know. I just wanted to see what they said, and a lot of women were like, we just saw a sac, or we didn't see a yolk sac, or we didn't see a fetal pole, or things like that. And then, they would go on to say that, like, because I'm due the very end of November, and some are due the beginning, so they're like almost 8 weeks pregnant instead of 5. So, they've gone back and everything's been fine. So in my head, I was like, we're going to go. We're probably going to see like a sac, but we might not see a fetal pole. We probably won't see a heartbeat. I just went in with that in my head, like, and then anything on top of that was just bonus, right? Because I didn't want to get my hopes up and then be worried or disappointed and whatever. So we went in, and they did the ultrasound, and there definitely was a sac. It definitely had a yolk sac in it. And then we saw a heart, and we saw the heart flickering. So the heart's beating. They were able to actually count the rate that the heart was beating, and it was beating 102 beats a minute. And it's considered a viable pregnancy once it is 120 beats per minute. But sometimes you can't even see the heart beating at this point, like it's not beating yet at all. So it's not supposed to be 120 right now, but it just needs to get there within a week or two. So I am thinking, based on my ovulation, I'm 5 weeks and 4 days. The yolk sac is measuring 5 weeks and 1 day. If you went by my LMP, I would be 5 weeks and 2 days. So, it's not that much off. I don't know how big of a deal that is since we're so early. Like, if the days would be that different. So I got my little picture, and I scanned this, so I'll throw it in the video and explain it to you. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. They said they didn't know if that scan would be sufficient for my doctor, because my doctor doesn't have an ultrasound machine yet. She just opened her own practice. So I went to another practice to get the ultrasound done, and they're going to talk to my doctor, and they said they might want to see me back in a week or two just to rescan and make sure that everything is measuring right and the heart is beating viably and everything like that. So, just to see a heart beating was like just a huge sigh of relief came over me. So I'm still nervous. Dang it. I wish I wasn't, but it's just like you can't help it, especially if you've had a loss. The pregnancy with my son was high risk. I was bleeding for the first 16 weeks, so I was, on pins and needles with him. Once I hit the second trimester, I started feeling a lot better, but and then you have that scare, a high risk pregnancy, and then you have a miscarriage, and it's just, what can go wrong, and it's scary. But everything looked good today. Like I said, I wasn't even expecting to see a heart, much less see it beating. So that's exciting. And they don't measure the baby for the dating, they measure the sac because the baby is still too small. They say the first thing that develops is the heart, and then the baby kind of develops around it. So once they have a baby to measure, it'll probably might measure differently. I don't know. Okay, so there is one thing I forgot to add, and sorry, I put a hoodie on because I'm cold. But I was editing this, and then I was like, oh, I forgot to say this. So I do have a cyst on my left ovary, and I think it's the corpus luteum or something. I'm not sure how you say it. Cyst. That's where the hormones come from until there's a functioning placenta. So what that means is that I ovulated from my left side. So that's kind of interesting to know what ovary your little baby comes from. But I couldn't really say if my ovulation pain was on the left side or the right side. It usually flips back and forth. So I didn't have a guess as to which side it came from, but I know for sure it came from my left side, and that I do have that cyst there too. So I think that's the only other thing I forgot, but I thought I'd throw that in there too. But I'll throw the ultrasound picture in so you girls can take a look, and just please continue, thoughts and prayers and everything like that. Because it does help, and it's amazing just to know that some of you are out there thinking about us. And thank you guys for leaving comments. I read them all. I try to respond to them, and it means a lot to me to get those. So thank you guys for those of you who have taken the time to leave me comments, and find me on Facebook and check up on me and things like that. Yeah, it's so nice to have the support. So, so whenever I talk to my doctor and, whenever they decide what to do next, I'll let you know. But for now, things look good. So, bye, girls. All right, so you see the ultrasound here. To the right, you see that little thing. That is the heart. And when it was moving, you could see it flickering. And then you see above and below that 2 little white lines. That's actually the yolk sac. And you can kind of, if you would draw a circle around there, that would be the yolk sac. And then you see the little heart there. So that's my little bean.